Hey, what's up everyone? It's Roy again, here for my third developer video on SpecFreq. Got a couple new things to show today. I can see in the editor here that the map's starting to come together a little bit. So I'll talk about that. Some awesome 3D got delivered for me that I'm now starting to put in the game. I'll talk about a new way for me to draw the map. Some pros and cons there. And then lastly, the day-night cycle of the game. I added that. It looks pretty cool. We'll talk about how I did it. So I'm going to hit play and jump on in. I have the server running locally on my machine right now, so performance isn't going to be the greatest. Let's get the game loaded up. I'm going to open up the server here. You can kind of see here it is running. Current time, if I press T, it's 8:36 in the game. So let's jump on in. So it's going to be it's daytime. It's kind of cool. So the first thing you'll notice is the map looks a lot better. There's still a long way to go with these textures, but it's there. The other cool thing is like all these extra 3D objects. So let's just jump right on into the game. Player looks normal, like we would expect. The big thing is these roads. Beforehand, when I was creating the roads on the game, I think I might have showed it in the last where you were dragging and dropping roads into the game. That was awesome, but what I found as a downside to that is as the game is drawing, there's a lot of little roads that it's drawing. And then the Godot engine was having a hard time understanding, the actual ground of the game versus the road. And it was causing a lot of drawing issues. So I kind of took a second look at it. And I realized the best way is really for both performance and for the engine itself is to just kind of draw a giant map of the game. So I think it's less than ideal because I want to make it really simple on the zone editors. Make it so they can drag and drop stuff. But I think it was just a little too much for the engine, and maybe I was just doing it wrong. But either way, this works for me. I do have Photoshop. I use that to draw little stuff when I can, and so I stuck with that. But I did get. Now this is like one giant map with the road here. Let me jump into we'll use the side by side to drive around because this thing's pretty fun. So it still kind of looks like what it did before. I made the parking lot a little bit bigger. I kind of made a town center here. With some mountains to drive into here. I haven't really done much outside the town. Noticed all the 3D objects though. So I've just started really working with them. Oh man, these light posts are not on the ground. That doesn't seem right. Maybe we can fix that real quick. Sorry. That bothers me. And I don't want to do this whole video with really weird light posts. So I jumped to map objects. And I think if I scroll down, here's all the fences. We're going to look at those in a little bit. They look really cool. Okay, light post. This one was the one that was off, right? Oh, yeah, look, it's that one. All right, I'm going to fix this real quick. This should be, all these should be 0 anyway. If I just set them. Yep, they definitely weren't on the ground. You kind of saw them all go down in the editor when I set it to 0. If you didn't see that, feel free to rewind it and check it out. All right, let's save that and restart it. That's funny. I wonder why it did that. No big deal. As you can tell, that was a pretty easy fix. I'll just have to keep that in mind as I put stuff down in the future. The way I was able to tell was the shadows looked totally off, right? If you were watching, you probably saw that. So let's go back. There's the side by side. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Notice there's no bottom shadow there. All right, back on the side by side. So a lot of new objects. First off, if you look inside the buildings now, I've started to put some desks and chairs down. There's another desk, table and chairs. Here's some crates. Just trying to figure out where to put these things. I mentioned light posts. You saw those. Here's some other crates I'm testing with. Pallets, because you gotta have pallets, right? Here's a barrel. These little things, I was wondering what they were called. They're called hedgehogs. I think Czechoslovakian hedgehogs or something like that. I gotta look that back up. But anyway, I got those. Check out these fences. These are my favorite additions to the game. So this awesome dude on Fiverr has been building me some 3D objects. Fence, gate, right? Do I want to go in? Yeah, I want to go in. Thank you so much. Remember I had these fuel tankers before. All this stuff was all here. This kind of area I wanted to be like the fence was kind of broken down, right? This is the spawn point for that tank. But yeah, I love these gate doors. So they'll open up for players or for vehicles. And in the settings, you can pick which one you want that to be. Let's head down here. Traffic lights, because in a war zone you care about traffic lights. Here's some benches. These barricades I already had. Started working on this area a little bit. Tried to make a little explosion. I know it doesn't look great. I'm not really a graphic guy, so what can you really do? And then I started also laying out this side. So right now I have 3 team spawns. This is one team. I think, yeah, I'm on Wolverine, so I spawn in the other building. This is the Spartan spawn, and then if you join a custom team, you spawn in this kind of empty building. Long term though, the intention is for you to spawn kind of off the map into kind of like an airplane thing. And that airplane will come down and drop you off at your site. There's some other updates, like for example, let's get in this little tank right here. Remember before when I shot the tank, it was a red thing? Now it's an actual like tank salvo. The position is still a little off. I still have work to do there, but it looks better than like a random red dot, right? I'm not going to stay in the tank because it's a little too slow for me. So those are the big kind of like in-person updates. I did also build out a little bit of a forest up here. I'm still working on it. We'll drive this side by side in there. One of the things I changed, these trees, it used to be that if you bumped into them, like they actually had a collision box on their own. I didn't really like that. And so now I realize it's a lot more fun when you don't collide into the trees. And they're more of like a visual, not annoyance, but just a visual thing for you to get over. So the trees right now don't have colliders on them, and I do like it a lot more. I am also working on, even if your player is behind the tree, making it so you can always see them. Notice that when I drive a vehicle in the trees, they don't go transparent. So that's something that I can fix and work on later. So that's the tree area. When you go down here, if you remember, and I think the second video I made, I had a whole bunch of stuff down here. So I recreated part of it. I don't think I'm going to do the full parking lot that I had down here. I'm really trying to think about what I want to do from like a map layout perspective. I'm not going to, maybe I'll take the mod car. Let's see if the mod car will go faster. I do have another like lake and river that I've been working on. It's going to take a minute to drive out there, but I think the mod car should be a lot faster than this side-by-side. I love the little side-by-side. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's not bad. This car drifts. Sorry if the game's a little jumpy. Again, this laptop is an awesome laptop, but it also doesn't really run the game and the servers and OBS a lot. All right, somewhere out here there was a lake and a river, and now I'm just driving aimlessly for it. So no big deal. I am planning on building more out later. Let's get back. All right, cool. I'm getting back to the base here. I'm also working on like the camera settings. You know, how high up do I want to have the camera versus how low? But we're working on that. So that's the kind of the bigger layout, the map area kind of work that I did. The other thing I changed is a day-night cycle. So right now it's daytime. Notice it has day 1. It's 8:50, so 8 in the morning. In the game right now, the game is set to tick. So every half a second in real life, it ticks a second in the game. That's actually up to the zone developer. They can set how fast they want the day-night cycle to be, or they can just disable it entirely. So if I go to the server here, so press T, it's currently 8:51. I'm going to add an hour to it. I think that was H. Nope, that was help. Oh, Z. Okay. So now it's 9:51. And now it's 10:51. Notice the light is changing and the shadows and everything. So I'm going to keep pushing it. Notice the time's changing now. 3:51, 4, starting to get darker. Now it's kind of sunset. It would have transitioned into that little light. I'm going to go my minute by minute now. And you can see there's some moonlight coming up. And now it's really no longer daytime, and now we're in a night setting. Other thing, if you notice, the lights turned on. So not only did I add a day-night cycle, I made it so different objects can register on and off functions at certain times. Right now I only have it to the hour, just because I thought to the minute would be a little bit overkill. And the server already has plenty on its plate. I didn't want it to have to deal with doing like to the minute timings. And so every hour, it's going to check who needs to be turned on and turned off. And then, yeah, it'll turn things on and off. So here's the light posts so far. I still, have a lot to do there, but let's see. I think I have a couple variations. Here's a single light post. Here's a double. And then, and there's the 4 post right there. So I still have some work to do to adjust the lights to make it look a lot better. But hey, it's a start, right? I'm going to jump and see if I can catch the sunrise. So now it's getting dark in the night. This is midnight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I already missed the sunrise. Oh, let's kill really fast. So we know 4, I think 5 a.m. is when the sun starts to rise. So let's go minute by minute. And so 4:45, 4:50. Oh yeah, it's starting to get yellow already. Let me move this guy out of the way so you can see. Hey, let's go to the woods. Nice creepy night woods with some lighting. Okay. And now I see it's starting to get yellow. What you're not seeing is I'm pressing X on the server side, which lets me fast forward time by 1 minute. It's starting to get brighter. Now it's 5:30 in the morning. 5:40, 5:45, 6. People are starting to wake up for work. Here's the sun coming in. Look at those cool long shadows. Oops, sorry for my swearing. Keeps going. It's now 6:30. And then as you keep going, now the sun's kind of up, so it's 7. So this is a combination of things. One, I have a directional light in the game. And really all I have to do to get these shadows right is rotate it along the way. And that the Godot engine adjusts the shadows. I'm jumping by hours. But all that really does is mess with not so much the ambient light, just like the directly spotlight that's going on. Like if you can tell now, it's kind of shooting straight down. And the way to tell, this spot right here is 0, 0. Notice the shadows right underneath, right? Because the light is right above it. But what that doesn't change is the ambient color. In order to do that, I have to edit Godot's skybox. In the skybox, I can pick what that ambient color is. And I'll show you what that looks like. Because I did make it easy for the zone editor to manage. And so I have this world environment object here. And in this object, it's actually this guy right here. Nope, that was wrong. Oh, yeah, no, I think that's right. No, totally wrong. Ignore what I just said. It's actually not in that. All that just tells it is the default environment. But really, where the zone editor is doing it, sorry, I forgot for a second, is right here. So I have something called a sunset gradient. Here's the raw values in it. And all it's saying is it's from 0 to 1. And just think of time of days. So 0 is midnight. 2.2 rather is right around, what did we see at, like 5:30 a.m. 0.3 is right around 8 a.m. or maybe 7 a.m. And then I want to hold that color until right around 4 p.m. And then from 4 to 6 is sunset, and then by 6 it goes dark again. One of the big lessons I learned in a previous game I wrote was that nighttime and darkness isn't the color black. That was good feedback I got. I wrote this game Astrominer that was kind of set in space, and a lot of folks had told me that the game was too dark, and it was just because the game was kind of like all black. And then I realized that nighttime is really like dark blues and dark purples and all that. So I spent a lot of time trying to get that right in this game. Not saying it's perfect, but I think it works pretty well for my needs. But by exposing it in the editor here, the person creating the zone can actually set their own sunset. Or again, they can totally disable it and just leave one color the entire time, and then there really is no sunset and sunrise. It's just a whole day map, or it can be an entire night map. So that's really it for the main updates. I'll have a little more here the next couple of weeks. I'm still kind of building out the map. I'm still working on a capture the flag style game now. And then I'm hoping to do a bigger multiplayer set test in a couple of weeks here. Just kind of want to see how well the Godot multiplayer can handle multiple players, and then how much I need to optimize, sending player positions and things like that. So that's all I got today. Appreciate you all listening in, and I'll catch you later. Bye.